This week's gold and silver specials at Miles Franklin are the 1-ounce silver Philharmonics, only $3.15 over spot. Also, the beautiful $10 gold Liberties, only $99 over melt. And last but not least, the $20 gold Liberties, $144 over melt. That's not all though, folks. We have 100-ounce bars as low as $1.79 over spot. Seriously, the largest inventory I've ever seen. Honored to be able to give you guys this opportunity. Slayer at milesfranklin.com. Hit me up. Now let's get to the video. The silver world is on fire. I have some unbelievable news to share with you. And when I say unbelievable, this honestly is almost hard to believe. Not talking about the already serious allegations being thrown at the Silver Institute, this is a completely different situation. We know that there are three primary silver exchanges. There's the COMEX, the LBMA, and the LME. The LME is the London Metals Exchange. Well, they are getting sued twice for two completely different reasons at the same exact time. Two pressure groups have filed a legal action against the London Metals Exchange for allowing the sale on its platform of metal produced in Indonesia that they allege is polluting local rivers used by indigenous communities, they said on Thursday. The London Mining Network and the Global Legal Action Network said in a statement, papers have been filed in London's High Court asking for a judicial review. The LME is breaching British anti-money laundering and proceeds of crime legislation. So we have two different articles that we have to break down. This is activists suing the LME for ignoring environmental impact of metals, but also this article as well. You cannot make this stuff up, folks. We also, at the same time, have all of the allegations towards the Silver Institute as well. I mean, what is happening in the world of silver right now? It is absolutely chaotic. So let's just jump straight into the news and see what in the world is going on. Make sure you subscribe if you want daily videos. I'll be doing some silver giveaways soon as we approach 100,000 subscribers. Like the video and let me know in the comment section what you think about all of this. So activists sue LME for ignoring environmental impact of metals. The London Metals Exchange, and this is by Bloomberg, by the way, is facing a new legal headache after a group of activists sued it for allegedly breaking UK law by allowing metals produced in environmentally damaging ways to trade on its marketplace. Two non-governmental organizations, the Global Legal Action Network and the London Mining Network, have filed a lawsuit seeking to force the LME to change its stance on what metal is allowed to trade on its exchange. Two different organizations at the same time. While they aren't seeking damages, the suit means the LME faces further legal action on top of the high-profile case last year brought by Elliott Investment Management and Jane Street over the decision to cancel billions of dollars in nickel trades. A lot of people say could potentially happen to silver. Corruption happening on these exchanges affecting the price of the metal. Now, the LME successfully defended itself in that case, although Elliott is appealing it. The new case highlights the growing scrutiny of the LME's role as gatekeeper for metals producers. It has faced repeated calls to ban Russian metals from being delivered onto these exchanges in the wake of the invasion of Ukraine, but so far has only imposed restrictions when required to do so by sanctions. And I quote, "Our aim is to force the LME to change the way it admits metals on its exchange," said Stephanie Calligra, a lawyer at GLAN, which is the Global Legal Action Network, which is only one of the two organizations suing. If we can have an impact at that level and cause the LME to change its policy, it may reverberate across the entire mining industry. The NGOs argue that the LME is breaching UK laws against handling the proceeds of crime by providing a platform for trading metals that have been produced in breach of environmental criminal law. They point to problematic mining practices in Indonesia, Brazil, Peru, Papua New Guinea, and Russia, arguing that handling metal that is produced in circumstances that would breach criminal law, if they were to occur in the UK, could be considered the proceeds of a crime under a 2002 British law. If their claim is successful, it could have implications for other UK companies, including the London Stock Exchange Group, where many mining companies are listed. The LME in 2019 introduced standards for responsible sourcing, requiring that producers whose metal is traded on the exchange provide evidence that they meet Organization of Economic Cooperation and development guidance on supply chain due diligence. It also requires producers to hold ISO 14001 certificates, which show that they have environmental management systems in place. Last month, the LME said it would suspend approximately 10% of the brands listed for trading on the exchange because they had failed to meet this requirement. Still, the LME standards don't include any requirements on the environmental impact of metal production. Through a judicial review, the NGOs are seeking to change that by persuading a judge to rule that the LME's responsible sourcing policy is unlawful. A spokesperson for the LME said that Exchange believed the claim that it was misconceived. The LME's brand is listing requirements reflecting the international consensus on best practice in respect of ethical and sustainability issues, the spokesperson said in the statement. While the LME has held discussions with market participants on introducing additional environmental requirements, it said there isn't yet any global consensus on taking further measures. So, I mean, this is insane. We have the non-global, or we have the Global Legal Action Network, and we have the London Mining Network, both filing lawsuits to force the LME to change its stance on what metal is allowed to trade on its exchanges. And then we have two pressure groups filing legal action against the LME for allowing sale on its platform of metal produced in Indonesia that they allege is polluting local rivers used by indigenous communities. They say that this is breaching British anti-money laundering and proceeds of crime legislation. Man, I mean, talk about some allegations here. And this is the 147-year-old LME in the process of suspending or delisting 10% of its metal brands until their producers provide with responsible sourcing information, includes requirements for environmental management. But the LMN and GLAN say that the LME sustainability framework is not enough. So this in turn will force metal producers to adapt their mining practices if they want to be able to access this platform, which is essential for them to reach customers and sell their products. So this could actually affect the price of silver. Because if they have to adapt new practices, I mean, silver is already a byproduct. Silver is already hard enough to find. There's very few focal silver mines, and the mines that are trying to go online get shut down by protesters since it's polluting the groundwater, like the one in Canada that got shut down before it even got opened up because people protested it. But they're saying that waste is being dumped from the giant Grasberg copper mine in West Papua, Indonesia, owned by Indonesia's state mining company, and U.S.-listed Freeport McRonan says opens a new tab, which also the operator is the operator of the mine. The legal action is not against Freeport. In West Papua, indigenous communities are suffering the effects of mining waste pollution from Grasberg mine being dumped into the water sources that they rely on for basic needs like drinking, cooking, and bathing. I mean, this is insane. Nearly 3 decades of engineering analysis, extensive monitoring and data collection, and computer modeling confirm that current tailings management system poses the lowest risk to people and the environment, the Freeport report said. So, then the GLAN and the LMN say copper derived from Grasberg and traded on the LME as criminal property, as it is produced in circumstances that would breach British criminal law if they were to occur in Britain. LME is recognized investment exchange in which it has specific legal obligations around identifying and mitigating the risk of financial crime on its platform. So this is an interesting situation. They're saying, if you are digging up this silver or copper from a place or doing it with illegal unlawful practices, putting it on that exchange is illegal property, essentially, and you have to update or prove that you're doing it in a legal manner. And if you can't, or if these miners have to adapt new practices, which, like I was saying earlier, silver is already a byproduct. It's already hard to find. Silver is just as, if not more rare than gold. Miners are just looking for gold more than silver. They're looking for gold, lead, and zinc. If they find silver, they'll take it, but silver's a byproduct. So it's already a bad situation. And if you incorporate the silver shortage and how we're already pushing record-breaking supply deficits on that level, this is very serious. And I'm sure this will affect more than just the LME. And like they stated, if this will be, where is that? If this is successful, it could push this for all miners. Where did it say that? Here, if successful, this case will force the LME to revisit rules under which it lists metals for trading on its exchanges. And then in this turn will force metals producers to adapt their mining practices if they want to keep being able to access this platform, which is essential. And this is crazy stuff. I get it if this really is polluting, their water for these indigenous communities, and is under, or if this is illegal, if they're not doing it in lawful ways, they would have to adapt new practices. But what new practices? There's only so much silver in the Earth's crust. And then you have the lithium mines. You've probably all seen that, or cobalt mines, where there are these people working in the worst conditions I've ever seen, barefoot. And there's kids, little kids, 5, 6 years old, with their mom working for like a penny a day in the most extreme conditions, just because they need these metals. And as we advance in a new digital technological era, we're going to need more and more lithium and more silver and more cobalt. There's a book called Cobalt Blue I recommend reading. I think they actually made a documentary on it, Cobalt Blue, and it talks about the extreme cobalt mining situation and shows some video as well from the documentary. And it is absolutely it's devastating, and it's a situation I don't think could ever be fixed to any degree. There's only a couple ways to get, for example, we'll use silver. It's mining innovation, which if they have to find new rules, that would already totally disrupt the system they have, which would probably push it back more than progress to progress the situation. Or there's recycling, which that doesn't even put a dent in the total annual demand, or pushing the supply up higher, which is only around 820 to 850 million ounces on a good year. Or there is something that hasn't even happened yet but could potentially fix this problem. What? Slayer, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. Using the final frontier to fix the problem of our metals getting extinct or becoming extinct. We are space mining. Well, we are attempting to space mine. NASA sent out a rover last year, I think actually 2 years ago now. There's an asteroid headed towards Earth around the year 2026. It's called Psyche 16, or 16 Psyche. They say it has up to possibly $500 quintillion worth of precious metals on it. A huge asteroid filled with precious metals, and NASA sent out a rover about 2 years ago, since I've covered this a long time ago, and they're going to check out this asteroid and try to mine it. Will they be able to mine this asteroid within the next 2 years? No. But just the fact that they're exploring that idea shows a lot. And if they were able to mine an asteroid and bring back a lot of silver, it would be as common as an everyday rock in your backyard. Is that going to be possible in 2 years? No, not at all. They're just starting to explore the idea. And, as we do explore space more, I'm sure that will be a thing eventually, just not anytime soon. But that's the only solution I could think of because there's nothing else we could really do about this unless you're willing to let these workers in terrible conditions mine this stuff with their bare hands. I mean, or fix the regulations, but they're trying to go, we're going backwards with that since they're saying that it's polluting the groundwater. So we're just in a sticky situation, and now throwing in legal stuff, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. So, yeah, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember, I post daily, so make sure you subscribe. Andy and I will be doing our show tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'll post it probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Try to do it earlier, but who knows. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.